Absolutely, and if you look at the results from yesterday, I mean, you know, Fiend, they lost to an IP, as you would expect. SKADE had a really good chance against Double Pony to bring that first victory through for them, but they lost in overtime on Ancient. So they're going to be looking to bounce back. Both these teams will be looking to bounce back, and they will realise how big an opportunity it is for them to get an even 1-1 in the groups. We're underway in the pistol. Rainwaker has the double flash and the smoke. Ships has got some utility as well, with Kaluba on the P250 and Kevlar boosted up. Red Star's close toward the connector there, hearing for the footsteps as they run through middle, and it will be full 5 toward long. Are we going to see the full round the world strategy? We see this so often on Overpass, or are we going to commit straight up long? It looks like we're going to ignore the long toilets. Only one player sticking there looking for the rotations. Jump spotting coming in toward bank, and Red Star will already be going for the duels. In comes the utility to try and smoke off these angles. They should be able to get a plant here on the A site because the players that are truck have fallen back and will play the after plant.
Yeah, they're playing for sound cues as well. A couple of shots riding through, but it's Dennis to find the opening behind. Ships will double down, in fact, and already the CT retake starting to lose its backbone here. 3 versus 5, and they're pinned over towards that dumpster. There's nothing they can do to get back in. A double smoke in, leaving them in such a tough position. And, well, all SKADE need to do is just play the post plants, tapping the way forward. Bubble's going to fall, and already things are looking so good for the T side, with Fiend left with 2 remaining players, tapping away Dreamer, finding one of his own, but it's nothing more than a consolation kill. As well, Fiend, they are immediately eradicated. At least to find a couple more kills. They're hunting.
Yeah, they're hunting hard. I mean, the players on Fiend have shot. Obviously, they're trying to save their Kevlar for the next round. It's pretty critical. The bomb will explode and will be around in SKADE's favour, but there we go. They clean them all up. So the save is not possible, as SKADE literally run rampant there towards CT. They just all jumped down together. That was very scary indeed, and in the end, they get their reward for it. That was a very nice pistol round from SKADE. I mean, they had the smokes available for, for Green Bin and Bank, so when they used them, that basically spooked Fiend in completely exiting the situation and going back down towards CT steps. So because of that, they had the site, and when they tried to retake it, the positions were already held from SKADE, so they had really no way back in whatsoever. It will be a force from Fiend in this one. They're looking to try and answer back immediately, but a fantastic start for the T side.
Yeah, it's a beaut, right? Really well played. And now, of course, a very comfortable bite to follow suit. AK tapping away at range. Hahn going for an aggressive peek with that scout in hand. He's going to pay the price. Duplicate doing what he does best, finding those kills. Now Red Star's going to be tested. A beaut of a flash, leaving him in such a tough spot. Kaluba making all the more damage. But Red Star's going to double down. In fact, the Deagle spam at close range. Still got that ability to do so. You can't count it out by any means. As a 2 versus 3 ensues, they're making their way once again. The similar utility coming forward, and Dreamer this time needs to pull off something special. He's all alone now. A 1 versus 1 against the likes of Rainwaker. It's the CZ versus the MAC-10. They know exactly where he is. The bomb's going to get planted. Now, how does Rainwaker play this?
This literally could go either way. I mean, he's low HP enough for the CZ to be a one-hit headshot. Dreamer's crept up. He has a defuse kit, so we can afford to take plenty of time on this one. But Rainwaker's chosen the right angle and will hit a big headshot. That could have so easily gone in Fiend's favour, but in the end, SKADE will just about cover it. Goodness me, that was close. Again, some great deal shots, as you mentioned. We obviously all talk about the nerf coming in, with the body shots being a lot less damage these days. But if you hit the headshot, it's just the same as before, and it made that one very interesting indeed. But in the end, it will be a SKADE victory with only 1 player alive, so Fiend will be happy with that damage they've done to the economy going forward at least.
Yeah, looking long term, that's what they needed, right? It was just damaging that long term economy, denying SKADE the ability with the scout, the quad boost, may I say, finding an easy pickings, always going to be caught off, and it's something which SKADE like to bring into their game. Just those sort of little trick plays to make it work. Ships finding an entry on towards the site, HE to follow suit, but things already falling in place for the T side, and these pistols are being easily dismantled here. Now for Fiend, again, it's about making things expensive, but they're already down low in numbers and low in HP.
Yeah, that's absolutely, as you would expect in a round such as this for SKADE to reach the 3-0. But as we said, Fiend are in a decent spot to make it interesting on their first buy round in response. Only got a few deagles left to find, or actually it's only 1 deagle now, 2 USPs left. So one thing I did mention beforehand is the fact that SKADE had a really insane run on Overpass earlier on in the year. I can tell you exactly what the insane run was. It was, I believe, around 12 matches unbeaten. It included a 28-24 victory and about 3 or 4 16-14s, but still, they're all wins and they all count. So yeah, absolutely ridiculous stuff from them, and they will obviously be happy getting this map because of that. They are incredibly well versed, probably one of the most well versed teams in the world on Overpass at this stage. And that's just Red Star remaining with the Deagle. Looking to try and do some damage, misses the shots, and of course he's got no armor. Kaluba will take him down easily. So 3-0 confirmed. Fiend will have their full buy available. Let's see if they can get themselves started.
I think it's one of those things as well. For Fiend to allow this map to go to Overpass, it's a big risk, isn't it? We already spoke, they're a side who had these hot streaks, and especially on a map like Overpass, they at times have just looked nothing short of spectacular. So it's very, very risky to let it go this far. And 3-0 start on T side. SKADE doing what they do best. Aggressive CSGO, right in your face, actively searching for the fights as well. And then, of course, just relying on their raw aim. It's working brilliantly as they found a third. But a full buy to come off the CT side. Red Star hearing the information as well will just fall away. Doesn't want to overextend, and probably the smart decision.
Yeah, it's the second time he's done that. He did it on the pistol round as well, just basically playing up close, and as soon as he hears something, will fall right back to the back. Red Star is taking his silencer off the silenced M4. That is, there's no reason to do that, my friend. It's good as it is. Keep that silencer on. It's much better with the silencer on. Red Star, I'm disappointed in you. Come on, man. As we work our way up toward long with SKADE. He's close toward Batham, so it's a decent spot to be in, and it will at least force Bubble to play on the site, because there is 2 players toward Banana right now, and it's a full 5-man group up for SKADE toward long. This is going to be a hard defense for Bubble. In comes the smokes, in comes the flashes there. His smoke timing is pretty good, but they're going to go straight through that, and he can't grab the timing. Has to swing wide, gets one, but now he's got grenades to help out. All 4, I believe, in the end there. Maybe at least 3. Hard is here to help out, though. He was toward middle position, gets himself 3 kills on the defense, looking for a no-scope clutch close up, and he'll make it happen. Hard with 4 on the defense. What a beautiful no-scope to finish. Fiend get their first round in spectacular fashion.
Well, sometimes when things aren't quite going your way, all it takes is just a little bit of individual brilliance to turn the tide, and that's exactly what Hahn brings to the table. What a ridiculous round from him. A man possessed, 1 by 1, just picking them off with ease. And just like that, Fiend are going to find a first, and now, of course, the deficit down to 2. Things looking good for them, and the economy for SKADE not looking too great. A double Eagle setup to support the Galil AKs. Not the easiest, and a very close shot. Kaluba, very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want from, Hahn. Literally, first time on the AWP on your first buy round, and he gets 4 kills. It's just the absolute dream. So often, early on in a half, you see the AWP just going 1 for 1, trying to make something happen, and then just dying straight away with that AWP. But the way Hahn played that was absolutely superb, of course. At an angle that's tough to find if you're advancing through long and you have no one in mid. That's the problem with 5 long. It can really be an issue in that situation. And Fiend are looking good now with that frag from Bubble. And that gives them a 5v4 early on. It only removes one of the Deagles, I believe, as they can recover a rifle onto one of those pistols. So they still have 3 to work with. As Ships creeps up through Monster. Victor is up close. He's got a crossfire with Dreamer. He should be spotted. There it is. That means Dreamer will be activated to help out, but Ships is already out of there, not wanting to give up another man.
Smart decision as well. No need to overextend, especially with a man disadvantage. It's very risky for no reason. We mentioned this, look at these rifles in hand, the double AK-1 Galil. That's it. Slowly making their way up towards short. Time is of the essence. And with just 35 seconds left to play with, SKADE needs to be careful about not letting this one take too long. I mean, the CT side do have the time to rotate in, but in comes the utility towards short, and I know Hahn will be waiting for this. He's got the position in his favour, can pick up a shot, fall back, doesn't need to go for that aggressive AWPing style, but it looks like he wants to push forward. In fact, Molotov will force him away, fortunately, if you're that T side, and once again, the utility has allowed them access to the site.
Yeah, this is a carbon copy of the pistol round. The utility locked Fiend out then, and it's locked them out now as well. Okay,
no
he
way.
was jumping mid-air, no-scope wall bang. Okay, we're seeing that on the highlight channels later. What on earth is that? It's a 3 versus 5, but don't forget, this is still very doable for SKADE. The flank of Bubble could really make this one possible, but no, Rainwaker's found it. Despite the heroics from Hahn in the last couple of rounds, it's back into a 3 versus 3, and now time is ticking low. Victor has a defuse kit, but he is the only one with that kit. We're just looking for this player toward long. He's found him, and there's Hahn with another one, another wall bang as well, and Victor will clear up the last. He should be able to get on the bomb and get it defused. It's going to be close, but he's going to make it happen, and basically all down to Hahn once again. Fiend have got themselves a second round. What have I just seen?
What is that from Hahn? I mean, what is that? Kaluba, what do you do? He's just, Hahn, he's just a special player, time and time again. When Fiend needs someone to step up, he always comes to the plate. I mean, it's just a brilliant performance again. And then to find the second off the back of it, allowing them access on towards the side, allowing that retake to work. I mean, Han is just a special player. I mean, what a performance.
What can you say about that? I mean, that is insane. You can put it down to a bit of luck, sure, because at the end of the day, that's not going to happen for you every single time. You're not going to hit a jumping no-scope ball bang. It's just clearly not going to happen. But at the same time, it was a really well-worked retake, considering SKADE got 2 frags in response so quickly and made it back into that 3 versus 3. They took their time, they made it work, and Victor with the defuse kit had plenty of time to sort that one out. So fantastic stuff from Fiend once again, and that puts SKADE down to pistols on this one. And when I say pistols, I mean a force buy, because Duplicate and Denisaur have brought up 2 Galils, and they're committing to this one. 3 Deagles alongside the other 3 players. They realise that the economy is going to be still pretty low on Fiend, so they're going to try and make something happen still. Spraying through Monster, no traces on the Silence M4. Victor's going to stop Duplicate, and that's a very good start in this round for Fiend, which would finally obviously break the SKADE economy.
Yeah, of course, there's 2 Galils still in play, but already a man advantage for Fiend. This is a much better performance than them on that CT side. They got off to a slow start, but as you mentioned, that individual brilliance has really taken its toll now, and things are very comfortably falling in place. Victor may have spotted a bit of information there on Denisaur, and now, of course, the traces, he most likely will know of the rough setup of the C side, but will they expect SKADE to be going for this push over towards shore? The bomb is dropped in towards mid. Rainwaker leading the charge as well. But he tilted to keep at bay. Han over towards Dice. It's a scary scope to walk into.
Yeah, it's a scary scope so far we've seen today. That's absolutely ridiculous stuff from him at the moment. With an incredible first buy round and an incredible second as well. Jump spotting toward Bank, just looking for something as they creep their way up toward A. There's the information. Just misses that first shot. But no matter, he's still here to defend. This is a second as well. Now he needs to be careful. Can't really stick around here for too long. He does have support toward Truck. That is something. We'll have to fall back toward Bank, and that exposes Red Star. Kaluba's going to stop him. And that, again, with just a bit of utility, has taken the site. But because of it, Bubble can flank from behind. 2 lovely frags on the Silence M4 from him. That's where the Silence M4 can really come into its own. Long-range spray is so much easier, and the silence aspect of it as well. Now it's all down to Rainwaker and Kaluba. There's a bit of information there for Rainwaker, but Han's put a stop to him as well. It's now all down to Kaluba. Let's spots the first, but Victor's got his number, and that will mean Fiend even up the scores at 3-3 straight away.
Yeah, an easy double there for Bubble as well. Outrange, the M4A1S is just a brilliant weapon now, of course. Easily the more viable pick, and showing us exactly why SKADE completely shut down. The only positive sign you can say for SKADE, of course, is getting that bomb down. Does allow them, if they want a force buy into this, I think it'd be very risky, so probably go for the upgraded pistols. Play things safe, just go for a couple of Deagles, maybe a small amount of armor and utility, just play things a little bit slower. They've been trying to make these force buys work, but Fiend are now awake in the server. They've tied things up 3 rounds apiece, and of course, off the back of it, things looking very good long term for them. And Han, of course, still just popping off.
Yeah, absolutely. Fiend are at a really good spot now. I mean, I'm a little bit concerned for the future of SKADE's T side. I mean, of course, we're talking about lately with the changes to Dust 2 about, how maps are changing. Yeah. Dust 2 now considered probably to be a bit CT-sided, where before it was T-sided. This is probably one of the most CT-sided maps in the pool remaining as well.
For sure.
Before that change. So this is one where you'd hope Fiend, for their sake, would get at least 9 rounds on the CT side, and they're cleaning up these pistols very nicely thanks to Victor. So SKADE have done fantastic work in the past on their T side. Of course, we all know the streaks that I've mentioned on this map, but at the same time, it's worrying if you're already losing the 4th in a row now, is what this will be, as it's just Rainwaker and Kaluba remaining. And this is just a perfect setup at the moment for Fiend. They haven't really failed with this setup at the moment, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, exactly, and of course, it's Han once again. He always seems to be good for a kill, and he's just such a secure player to lean on. They can as well sort of play these aggressive over towards B positions and just leave Han as an anchor. Deagle spamming, but of course, Deagle spam is no longer a thing of what it used to be. Bubble will find that easy frag there. Rainwaker going to go down, and well, just like that, Fiend for the first time in this best of 1 find a lead in there, 4-3. Things looking very good for them. I guess what you can say for SKADE, that was a low buy coming into that one. Just the Deagles coming out as we expected. We mentioned for them, just take 1 round to just take a bit of a chill pill, right? They were trying to go for these force buys with the Galils, and it's never going to work, especially when you got players like Han popping off. Bubble with the M4A1S seems to have come alive now as well. But the quad boost could be something that causes a difference, and actually, Fiend have learned from their mistakes. They're not going for that jump anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was on an eco round, which I believe SKADE, made that happen. So it was. If it's going to get pulled out in a buy round, you're going to be aware of it. They've already put 5 players here. They're content with not having anyone in a position to stop any quick lurks coming in, expecting Fiend just to sit back really and be comfortable to wait in these situations. I mean, I mentioned obviously that these teams play Overpass a lot and play each other a lot. Last time they did play Overpass against each other, it was a 16-6 victory for Fiend. That was back in July though, so a lot has changed since then. So you can't really take all those sort of statistics with. You have to take them all with a pinch of salt, I should say. So it's going to be an interesting one. We mentioned beforehand how fascinating these two teams facing off against each other on this map would be. We got Overpass, and we do have the chance to make it happen. Dennis thought, maybe spot some traces there through the smoke, or at least hears it. Of course, no traces with the Science M4. Look at this setup Fiend have got though. They are so ready for this play. Look at the lineup for Victor. Gets 1, gets 2. They have still got 2 players to the left side of Monster. That is so dirty. The bomb's dropped in the vision of Dreamer as well. What on earth can they do about this? He gets the first. But there's just no way you're going to expect Bubble. But will they even commit on it, though? The bomb's been recovered. Bubble might have to pounce here. Otherwise, SKADE could have gotten away with it.
Bubble just floating over there, over towards Monster, waiting for his opportunity. But speaking about opportunities, Red Star in such a prime position. He heard the information earlier. With this door smoked off, though, does he go for the aggressive push? This could work in his favor. Here's the utility dropping down. Easy pickings. Bomb dropped. 15 seconds left. And he's getting the bomb. It's a 1 versus 3. All down to Rainwaker. And I think he's more or less given up in this one, working in his favor. Might be able to find an exit as he just tries to keep this AK ticking across. Really well played. Rainwaker, all he has to do is just keep this AK ticking across. And again, Red Star, all he had to do was just wait for his opportunity. Fiend, find a 5th, a 2-round lead. And for the CT side, everything is just starting to play into their favor. Their position to deny that bomb going down was brilliant over towards Monster. And of course, once it was dropped into a short, that was more or less done.
Yeah, that was almost like a hard read, almost, wasn't it, from Fiend? I mean, they had the 5 players toward Monster, and they had 3 players holding it as a group. I mean, that's just remarkable with their decision-making there. I mean, exactly what you'd want in that situation, and just too many people to find for SKADE. And as you mentioned, with Rainwaker saving that AK over, it's mainly all down to him on this round for SKADE to make something happen. Already he's eaten a little bit of a spam as well. With 4 deagles surrounding him, deagles not what they used to be. Have to take your time and aim for the head a bit more than before, and that can throw you off a little bit. It's going to be a hard one for SKADE to recover. You'd expect Fiend to find 6, but I've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, I'm not going to count them out just yet. Rainwaker has taken a decent amount of damage, which does mean now his M4A1Ss do pose even more of a threat than they already do. That 1 bullet headshot makes all the difference now, and something in which Rainwaker might be careful of and may even want to drop that one across, right? He so far hasn't been the biggest performer in terms of frags. Maybe the likes of dropping over towards Kaluba, the newer addition to the side, might be the better one. Hahn spotting one over towards Divider, might be slightly tunnel vision. As this smoke dissipates, he could be caught off guard here, but now he's waiting and holding. Oh, too smart that something like that happen as the utility starts to fight their way forward. Easy pickings, Hahn finds 1, doubles down, in fact, full blind, does not matter. A flashbang is nothing to this man. It's Hahn, 1 by 1, it's a shooting gallery, and he's on for the ace, but it's going to be ships to deny. Left all alone now, might be able to find another consolation, but I think it's going to be easy clean up for Fiend. Hahn is just an animal.
Yeah, he's found 8 kills in 2 rounds in this game overall. I mean, that is just another beautiful hold. Sure, it's against the 1 AK and the 4 pistols, but I mean, you saw how eager he was for the ace at the end. I've never seen someone hold W with the deagle faster than that. I mean, you don't blame him. Of course, the AWP has been lost, but it can be recovered straight away. So Fiend are in an excellent spot in terms of their economy. They've got about 7k plus per player, and so that you don't blame him at all for wanting to get that ace. But in the end, he will fall at the last hurdle. No problem though. It does mean that it puts Fiend up to 6 successfully, and already some damage done to Kluber with that Molotov. The control Molotov toward the back of Playground there. Kluber looking for the duel to along. This is very tight. Hahn is in his position once again. He's in the right spot at the right time so often, but misses the flick this time. Spots the jump over, but in the end, very lucky to get away with his life is Dennis Law there. And SKADE will now to try and at least stabilize a little bit, but no, Red Star will stop him again with a bit of aggression toward Party. So that will mean they can fall back with a man advantage and be very, very happy with themselves.
So far, things looking very good. Of course, that tempo slowed down now. They're in a man disadvantage. And with the health that's tipped away on towards Dennis Law, they do need to be careful not to overextend. Again, for the likes of SKADE, they're instantly put into this tough position by losing that opening kill. They now have to reevaluate what's their position in this round. And this Law slowly peeking his way forward, and he will actually deny Hahn. Not often we say that so far in the performance that he's been having, but Hahn out of the equation. For Fiend, is he the real difference maker? With him now out, how do they play this?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time that they've got the better of him, it feels like, in all these executes so far. There's a headshot from Duplicate as well. Bubble will go down. So this should be an excellent response from SKADE. They just have to be wary of Red Star. He's close toward bank, and it's not being checked for. He gets himself the first. He recovers it into 3 versus 3, and now they can wait for Victor. Coming up from Connector, he is the playmaker here in this situation. Dennis Law can't stop it, and we'll even see a second player coming in as well. There's no way Ships expects a second, and Victor's got him too. It's now all down to Duplicate in a 1 versus 3, and with only being on 26 HP, this should not be possible. What can he do? He's mollied off as well. Victor is just going to hold the bomb. He can't even afford to run through it to stop it. So he'll fall back and save the AK into the next round. It'll be a 7th for Fiend. They're looking incredibly solid right now with these flanks working out so perfectly.
That's pretty well played. I mean, to speak about sort of game sense and awareness, well, exactly that. Molotov in towards long, just take the defuse. They knew exactly where he was. They knew he was on low HP as well, and all they had to do was just find the defuse off the back of it. At 1 versus 3, it was only going to go one way. And that way, of course, is a 7-3 scoreline now. SKADE, who got off to a flying start, are really starting to struggle themselves. A full buy to follow suit at the very least, but these 5 AKs, while it is a comfortable buy, this game so far has not been comfortable at all for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fiend are in such a fantastic spot right now. I mean, look, Red Star's got 12.6 in the bank. Hahn's got 9. Victor's got 9. Bubble's got 7. It's going to have to do so much work to actually break this economy down. And it's looking incredibly solid for them. This time we are grouping toward B again, but this time it's 4 towards short. And we're going to try and burst on it. There's even trades early on. Dennis will actually gets a second in the end, though, but Bubble is still here. Gets himself 1. Can he respond for a second? No. Rainmaker just makes it happen. And that was the key frag, because now it's all down to Hahn in a 1 versus 2. The grenade is good. Thankfully, it's not Rainmaker putting down the bomb, otherwise that nade would have taken him down. But now, I think this is almost beyond Hahn's capabilities. He's going to rotate round to Heaven and try and get a pick, possibly, to make this one possible. But I would say, with the time on the clock now, it's looking more and more difficult. Ships is in water. Rainmaker's right next to him. Gets the tag. Oh, so close. That was probably the key moment. He'll realise now this is no more he can do. Drops the AWP so he doesn't gift it over to a T. Goes for Deagle instead. Tries to get the wall bangs. Look at the HP on Rainmaker and Ships, but it's just not happening for Hahn. This time, he's done so much heroic so far in this game, but this time, he's been put to bed. And SKADE get their first in 7. 7 win streak in a row of Fiend broken. 7-4.
You know, if that all shot was able to connect, that could have been a completely different situation. I mean, Hahn was on full HP. If he connects that first one, dropping it down to a 1 versus 1 with the last remaining T being on, what, 12 points of health? That really could have taken a turn, but well, the RNG was not on his side. I guess it evens out after that jumping no-scope earlier. So there's the karma even out, of course. 7-4 on the scoreline. 3-round lead still in favour of the CT side. And, of course, that full buy kept in their hands. The M4A1S is supported by that 1 AWP and tagging through as well. Rainmaker needs to be careful. Already up to 83 points of health, but has got con control. And that's a very important position to keep control of now. That allows for rotations to come through pretty quickly.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, you know, as you exactly, absolutely right. You know, for every sort of jumping no scope and bit of luck you get, there will be a frag, which is no throw wall, and will hit someone for 99 in 1 with an AWP. So, you know, it does even itself out overall. So it does mean that SKADE do finally get that round on the board after losing 7 in a row. Really important for them to sort of stop the rot. But as we've mentioned, the economy is in a situation for Fiend where it's just literally out of control, so they can afford to do a lot. Ship, so that's a beautiful pick toward Red Star, toward long. On that off angle, Red Star not working out for him, and they're going to commit on this one. 3 toward the smoke. Oh, but look at the damage from Dreamer. That is absolutely disgusting. 2 dinks to a smoke was that? That is horrible for SKADE. Dennis was responding back for 1, but Victor's here as well, and straight away, Fiend will respond immediately and get themselves back up to 8. That is just a bit too fast, I think, there from SKADE. Once they got the opening pick, they felt the need to pounce, and I don't think it was wise.
No, not at all. I think they overextended it. Once, as you mentioned, they found that opening kill. They thought things were just going to play comfortably into their favor, right? You can go play for the trade game, go for the kills, and easy pickings. Not the case. A spam through the smoke, finding a double, and things quickly took a turn. And that turn, of course, is Fiend finding an 8 and guaranteeing themselves a lead heading into that second half. And on a map like Overpass to already find 8, things looking very, very good for them. All it takes now is a broken economy. They can get double digits. A lot of damage dealt, but it's going to be Duplicate to find the opener. Victor on that low HP just caught off guard, but at least the HE will find something, and Dreamer through the smoke answers back.
That's a huge amount of spray control there from Dreamer to actually find that kill toward Kaluba. And it's such an important response as well. I mean, you saw SKADE right next to that smoke as they got that opening pick. It looked like they were desperate to go again, but they're maybe thinking what happened in the previous round. That's just second-guessing themselves. And I think probably rightly so. Chips is still playing with his food toward the A site there, but Denislaw maybe expecting the rotation to come in as Chips is playing with this player on the A site. He does take away another frag. That's a really important one there from Denislaw. And it now forces... Oh, that's a really good bit of utility usage as well. It forces Dreamer out. And another shot from Denislaw. This is a fantastic round, taking matters into his own hands here. And that will probably force Hahn to save this time.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in a 1 versus 4, orb in hand, surely not. There's no need to make this work. But the other side of things is, SKADE, they'll be aware that he has an orb in hand. Do they go hunting? Of course, their long-term economy is not great by any means, but they know that orb in the hands of Hahn is always a threat, no matter what the buy supporting it is. They may go hunting for it, but actually not going to be the case. It would have been a risky one overall because nonetheless, Fiend would have been able to pick up an orb coming forward anyway. It wouldn't have made a difference long-term wise, especially now we're in the later stages of this first half. But at the very least, it could have been an orb taken across for them. Not the case though. A 5th round found, and SKADE just about keeping within an arm's distance. They've still got a lot of work to do, but that's much better on the T side. Find the opening kills, and of course, off the back of that, then successfully set up the post plant. And once that post plant was set up, there was just nothing Fiend could do. It was easy entries onto the site, and well, left the CTs with nothing to do. 8-5, and of course, we are going to see a tactical timeout. Well, actually called by Fiend. They're in a very strong position, but I think they want to make it even stronger.
Yeah, and if they can get out of this half with, 9 or 10, I think they'll be pretty happy with that. SKADE, on the other hand, after losing 7 in a row, if you lose 7 rounds in a row and a half and you get her out with, 5 or 6, you'll be incredibly happy with that, I think, in the end. So yeah, they're in a pretty decent spot to at least make a decent half out of this one. And we saw those wonderful entries there from Denislaw on the AK-47, but he's got the AWP this time around, so he's looking to try and face off against Hahn, his nemesis so far in this game. He's got the best of him once or twice, but so far it's really been Hahn being the king. SKADE with a decent T side at the moment, breaking that streak, and now up to 5. Just 3 behind. It's really not too bad. It might look bad for a while, but any amount of T rounds you get on Overpass can be very, very useful going forward. And there's not anyone really lagging behind on SKADE at the moment as well. So they are still fragging evenly, and that bodes well for a close game going forward.
Yeah, agreed. I think, obviously, we sung Hahn's praises, but a little bit of a silent threat. Victor, I mean, he's on 14 kills, consistently finding kills round after round, and it's just that fact that he's finding 2 kills but most rounds, basically, so far. It just seems to be his story. Always consistent for one, always sort of someone you can rely on. And of course, just to have a rifler who's in that sort of form is huge to support an Overpass as good as Hahn. Hence why Fiend in such a strong position. Kaluba makes his way in towards Connector, clearing the early position, and now, of course, a lot of control in their favour. Victor sitting in close short water, waiting for a bit of an overextension in towards that position. As we speak, no side really opting for anything. SKADE, they're just slowly looking for map control. And of course, off the back of that map control, then they'll make the decision based upon what execute they want to go for.
Yeah, and obviously the most important thing really for CTs on Overpass is getting that short control as well, and that's an early tag for Hahn. He now sees a couple of players in toward the bottom, sets himself one. Can he do any more? No, this time he stopped, and the trades are coming in quick and fast. Rainwaker with 2 headshots, and that basically means that the B site is open for business. Red Star is here, and Bubble can just about rotate in back in time. He should be able to take Rainwaker because he's low HP after getting those 2 kills, and now with water being taken, that's a surprise for Ships. Only 21 HP, 2 versus 2 with 18 seconds on the clock. That's starting to go back toward A again. It's around the world a little bit for the SKADE side on this one. Bubble and Red Star will know this is a possibility. If Red Star actually is a little bit faster on this one, he maybe could have denied the bomb plant. He's still trying it, and he will do it. 4 seconds on the clock. I think that might have sealed the round. It has. Denislaw has no choice but to grab the AWP. Can he get away toward long? I'm not sure it's going to be possible. He might die after time here. Red Star, he's going to go for it. No. So close, but SKADE caught in 2 mines there between A and B with only such a short amount of time on the clock. The 1 kill was all that was required in the end, Neo.
Wow, all that took was that one stray bullet. We talk about reactionary shots. Red Star doing it perfectly. Look at this. I mean, that is just crisp. We talk about people who have just, perfect control of their sensitivity. I mean, that is just a true showing. Red Star, brilliant. All he needed was 1 bullet, and he made it work. Brilliantly played, and just like that, Fiend find 9. We said, a 9-6 for Fiend is huge. It's brilliant looking forward, and Well, they found 9, and they're right on the verge of making it double digits in the first half. And we know this is a CT-sided map, but that doesn't take away from how good of a performance it has been so far. Deep smoke in towards Monster. Fiend in a real position of strength. And SKADE has managed to pick himself up an AWP to try and counter, but it's Red Sword to find the first. Ships, hello, goodbye. Dreamer doubles down as well. It's all falling into the place, and SKADE now 5 rounds on the board, left with 2 remaining players to try and find 6, and even that seems like a shot in the dark.
Yeah, this is going to be too strong. This should be a Fiend double digits on the half, and I have to say that is just incredibly impressive stuff from them. I mean, SKADE have looked a little bit stuck in between 2 mines in a few of these rounds so far. We saw those, those committals toward long and toward the A site when there's only short time remaining. I mean, a little bit in 2 mines, and when you're in 2 mines on this game and in Counter-Strike in general, it can really be a big problem. Red Star will actually get caught by Denislaw, so it keeps SKADE in the round. Victor is low HP, 25. To work with, but the multi-fragging on this Silent Sim 4 from all these players so far on Fiend has been so strong in this half. You would surely expect Dreamer to deal with this one. Nurstle's up close, does get a pick to a bubble, and that will scare Dreamer a little bit, but the shadow advantage is huge in this situation. Denislaw actually trades it beautifully on such low HP, and now in a 1 versus 2, this is vaguely doable. Looks for the first, but no, Victor stops him. One of the heroes of the half, Victor, will get the 10th round on the board for Fiend, and that is a fantastic half from them. We'll go to a break with SKADE with a lot of work to do.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the IEM Fall 2021. And, well, our second game of the day has not disappointed at all yet. We thought the Dignitas game was good. This one looking and shaping up to be equally as good. Fiend lead the half 10-5 over their Bulgarian brothers of SKADE. The question is now, are SKADE heading to the arguably more favourable CT side? Can they turn things around?
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting one because, as we mentioned, these teams, they'll know each other, inside and out. I mean, probably a lot of the things that Fiend did against SKADE in that previous half was basically like a straight-up anti-strat. You saw that one particular round where they had 3 toward Monster, defending as CT. And they all had all 5 there as SKADE. So it's a fantastic choice from them, and it worked out very nicely. They went into the pistol in the second half, and Mr. was already dueling off with that PT50 to try and get an early pick. We've got the utility on Bubble and Dreamer with Duplicate, my bad, on the Diffuse Kit and the double flashbang. So it will be curious to see if SKADE can be put up as good at a defense as Fiend did. As I mentioned, they'll know everything. But can they catch them off guard with some various, cheeky plays like this? Perhaps Ships is pushing long right now.
Yeah, will they expect that at all? If Ships gets the full flank here, this could be something brilliant. And suppose all he actually has to do is play for information. He doesn't really need to try and get a 1 versus 5 with the USP. Just wait and try and see where they're going. Spotting, finding the first, spots the bomb as well, but actually maybe shot a little bit prematurely. But he's going to double down, make that 3. Ships causing so many problems, and he's on for the ace. Ships not going to be able to convert as Han is left in a 1 versus 4. And while Ships is on for the ace, Han now needs an ace to make this round work in his favor.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? We've seen some very slow pistol rounds today, but we've also seen some incredible CT recoveries, and that push from Ships is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's always been a fantastic Overpass player in general, whatever team he's been on. I mean, I think maybe you might remember, Neo, back in the day, I think it was the Wendigo roster that won the WESG tournament, and he absolutely popped off on Overpass. I think he got 37 in regulation or something ridiculous like that back in the day, and that was, incredible team. I think that's about, 3 or 4 years ago now? Goodness gracious me. Time flies.
We're getting old.
And now we are. And now Han, all he can do is be up around the map. He actually has a risk here of dying after time. If this CT on Monster is smart, maybe they'll let him try and get the bomb plant and then go for it. Here we go. It's going to be very low. After time, that's big. That is really, really big. I can't believe that's one of the first times I've seen in a very long time where a T has died after time on this T pistol round. That means he's got $450 to work with in the next round. That is horrible. Bomb plot not successful, and they play that one perfectly. Do SKADE, of course, thanks to the ridiculousness from Ships, but still, what a horrible position to be in there.
Yeah, and the tough thing as well, they didn't get a bomb down, so there's no economy coming in for the Fiend side. It's just going to be a really tough buy, and that tough buy is just Glocks, no armor, no utility, and most likely just going to send it. Full W, try and find a couple of weapons here or there, if they even can. Even that seems like a big arse jump peeking, may I say. Han taking quite a bit of damage, down to 28, and now needs to be extremely careful. That nade could have been his deciding factor, but not going to be the case. Still, pistols. Again, I think the priority of them, if they can get a bomb down, that seems like a tough arse with no utility, no armor, and no weapons. Maybe just try and make it expensive. They can pick up 1 M4A1S. I guess it's better than nothing.
Yeah, in this sort of situation, when you're literally 5 Glocks and you have Han, bless him, on 450 after dying after time, it's just an absolute nightmare. I mean, it's worse than it would be before. He'll be on, I reckon, a Mach 10 in their first buy round, so it's not the best. All they can really do in this situation is try and delay the clock down as much as possible. Not as much as the previous round, but enough to make SKADE use their utility up and make it so they have to repurchase it in the rounds coming up. It should be easy frags for the Silenton. 4 Ships, gets himself 2. 1 more coming in, looks like as well. There we go. 3rd, maybe a 4th. P5's perfect, and he'll be farming in the early stages of this CT half. That's 8 kills in those 2 rounds.
He's not going to say no to that at all. Ships doing exactly what Han was doing in that first half. He's answering right back, and you mentioned about Ships being a consistent player 3-4 years ago back in that Wendigo roster. Well, he's doing it exactly here once again. Hence why SKADE were so adamant to pick him up once they got that opportunity to. He's been, since he's come into this team, a very, very consistently strong player. And of course, showing it here, SKADE, they needed a resurgence. And Ships are single-handedly trying to pull it in their favour.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Han will probably be on a Mach 10 in the first buy round. I mean, it's not even a Mach 10, it's literally just a deagle to go get the full utility. So it's just a rough situation early on for Fiend. Han's had a fantastic CT half, but he's really had a bit of an issue early on in this one. And look at that spray in toward Monster. It's going to be a perfect defense. Duplicate will catch Victor trying to work his way through. And winning on the bonus buy, if you are SKADE, will be so huge for the future of their CT half. Already a 5 versus 3. This is a tough situation for Fiend right now. What are they going to do about this? They need some kills. They need something. And maybe they will resort to a boost towards short.
They're going to try and go for a little bit of a rogue play to try and make it work. And, oh, they're giving away a sound cue. That's brutal. Now they know exactly what they're going for. And he's going to manage to find one duplicate just unaware. The sound cue surely was heard, but the information not relayed. And, of course, off the back of that, now at 2 versus 4, the T-Side have somewhat of an opportunity. That's a nice smoke. Dennis, all he has to do is hold and wait. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, his bubble left in a 1 versus 4. They probably know exactly where he is. Dennis swings into that perfectly. 10-8, deficit down to only 2. And since coming onto the CT side, this SKADE side look revitalized.
Yeah, the fact that Dennis pushes toward T-spawn and finds the bomb as well. I mean, yeah, that is just never going to work in the T-side's favor, unfortunately. It's very rough stuff indeed for Fiend. So they would have been delighted really with their first half, but they're already under a hell of a lot of pressure. It's a tough situation to find yourself in. Already we've seen some grenades there in CT spawn. That's some bit of interesting work there. I think there was an extra incendiary, an extra smoke in spawn, I believe, for possibly when they retake B later on. And that's something I think we're seeing more often in this situation. We've got a little bit of a boost toward playground, shouldn't work out for too much damage, so I'll continue on to my point as Enstor gets the first helped out by ships. I think the main thing we're seeing is the fact that if they can drop that utility on Overpass in the CT spawn, you don't lose it if you take a duel toward A, and also you can pick it up and go for a retake toward B if necessary. So that is such a huge factor of it, of not risking losing it later or like early on in the round, whereas you couldn't before. So it's I really love that. And now with SKADE only 1 behind, Fiend need to try and put a stop to this little streak.
Yeah, honestly, I can speak for hours about the nuances behind what dropping utility, how monumental it is to changing metas entirely. And we already saw Alexi B yesterday getting nearly 1,000 util damage in the first half alone. I mean, just the opportunities it creates with this just ever so slight change of the game, that is humongous. And well, so far things are working very well for SKADE on their CT side with exactly that ability to do so. Spamming forward, Duplicate finds one through the smoke. Bubble already dropped down, already the man advantage collected by the CT side. And what a question have to start being asked for Fiend, because they look like a shadow of their former selves.
Yeah, it's just going to literally a complete turnaround, polar opposites from CT side to T side so far. And look at this standoff in the smokes. Harden will get one, that's good. We'll expect Duplicate as well. Oh no, double headshot up close, and the flash is at least good. It recovers the situation and back into 2 versus 2 as well. Rainmaker tries to pounce toward Dreamer, but he's not going to make it happen. And Dennistor's really disconnected from the action. So it should be Fiend finding something for the first time on their T side. Unless Han gets this one, or Benistor gets this one, sorry, he does. And now it's all down to the 1 versus 1. He has to switch to a FAM, has to go for the retake. Not the main gun you'd probably want in this situation, but he does have a defuse kit, and he has a smoke as well. Smoke will go onto the bomb, tapping away at water just to make sure, but Han is flanking him. He is making the choice right now. It's going to be a correct one. If he takes the timing correctly, Dennistor is looking around the site, won't be spotted. Han always misses the spray, though. This is a bit dangerous now. If Dennistor gets this one done, it would be pretty crazy, but time is ticking down a bit low now, and he will get the kill. But there's no time on the bomb. He second guesses himself, so he might actually die to the bomb here. It's going to be very close, but it will be Fiend's first round.
Finally, on T side, they managed to make it work. I think we are starting to see, though, just this Fiend side looking a little bit nervous, right? I mean, Han whiffing a spray, so unheard of to even say that. I mean, it's a player who, in his own regard, was somewhat unstoppable in that first half. And now for seeing these ever so slight errors, I mean, for him to even go down in that situation is somewhat unexpected. So maybe we are just seeing Fiend losing the mental game here, as well as the in-game as well. And hence why SKADE are in such a close position. But finally, they do pick up a round on their T side. And they just need to chain momentum. If they can stay in this. But with SKADE so far so dominant on their CT side, they need to be careful.
Yeah, and of course the problem for Fiend in that previous round is they win it, sure, but they win it with 1 player alive. So they're going to have AKs, they're going to have utility, but they're going to have 1 player on just the Deagle. That is Bubble, but already They've been settled down a little bit by that frag from Dreamer. Kaluba pushing towards short, trying to make something happen, but not to be. And now the pushing towards B will be tried by the Fiend side. Ships is in position with the silence in 4. All 4 players here to fight. Gets the first, looking for a second. Can he get it? No, he can't, but Duplicate is still here. And there's going to be knifing and the smoke coming in. Is he going to be able to escape this one? What on earth is going on? Hard, he gets Rainwake in the meantime, and Duplicate's still alive. He can even fall back to water and possibly reload. What is going on? It's a 2 versus 2. Bomber's not planted yet. 1 minute left on the clock. This is a complete mess of a take at the moment, but it's such an important round in the meantime. They're still toward heaven on the AWP. Looks to try and take a pick of that player toward pillar, but he'll have to fall back off of it. As it goes silent, he tries to leave the situation. Worried about the possibility of a player coming toward A, because they haven't seen both these players coming in, and the patience from Fiend could be winning them the situation. Look at this. They are rotating both players away toward the A site, SKADE, and Fiend have a free site, but they don't even know it yet.
That is so well played. Fiend, they knew just by taking a step back, assessing the situation they were in, and essentially just cutting all the tempo momentum in that round, they're going to make SKADE double guess themselves. Hence what we're seeing now. They fully rotated away, and now they've realized, hang on a second, we've got a free site. Bomb goes down, post bombs begin to be set up, and now SKADE, this is going to be a shock to the system as the retake tries to find something. Smokes will be dropped, and, well, for Denislaw and Duplicate, this is going to be a tough one.
Grenade's going to come in. It will do significant damage to Han, puts him down to 39 HP. Both these players do have defuse kits, but Denislaw will miss that trade, and that could be the crucial factor. If he gets that trade, he has a clean 1 versus 1 to go for. Basically exactly the same as the previous round. I think it would have been Han versus Denislaw once again, going at it in a 1 versus 1. But as it is, the trade is not able to be gained, and because of that, Fiend will just about get away with their 12th, and what a critical 12th that could be.
Oh, that's just brilliantly played from Fiend. All they had to do was just do something you very rarely see in CSGO. Just stand still. Just don't do anything. Wait in your position, and somehow the round will just fall into your hands. Brilliantly played, and for SKADE, that is, I guess to a degree, a bit of a rookie round to lose. It's something which they never should have done. The gamble stack over towards A, I understand the sort of theory behind it, but what's the point in doing so? They knew they had the health advantage, they had the site control both ways, and even if it was brought back to a 1 versus 1, it was still a better position than what they were left with, which is a 2-on-2, but with full utility on the site. It's a tough decision to be in. Hence why we are now seeing SKADE call for a tactical timeout, because, I mean, they'll be kicking themselves.
Yeah, that's such a weird one. I mean, the madness toward the barrel position as well, with the knives out as well. I mean, it was crazy how it went from that to quite literal silence across the entire map as we saw the patience, as you say. I mean, that is just such a huge decision from Fiend that could completely change the face of their T side. SKADE won 4 in a row, and now Fiend have answered straight back and have put SKADE under a little bit more pressure. So it's going to be a huge one, this one, for SKADE to find. They need their double digits to keep this one competitive, otherwise Fiend could run away with it with their economy at a rough state as well. They're still looking for a pick, but they'll have to be patient this time around. And yeah, so often in that situation, that previous round here, we see a sort of a split up going 1 for 1. But you like to stick together when it's such low numbers in a 2v2, because the trade can be quicker and easier. But yeah, it didn't work out for them, and that could be something they look back on later and think, oh goodness, we knew we did some damage. Maybe we have to stick one on each site there. Yeah,
I think that's definitely going to be one for the demo looking back later. Regardless of how this game goes out, they need to take a decision here. A Bubble had the information, saw it first, but gonna go down. Kaluba finds the opener. Bubble out of the equation. Opening kill going the way of the CT side. And now, with a man advantage, similarly again, all they have to do is play that trade game. Just take a step back this time. Don't over-rotate. Hopefully they've learned their mistake. As Fiend are slowly inching their way forward. That short control is in the hands of Red Star, but he's quickly disposed of. Kaluba doubling down. Left on only low HP, but it's just all falling into the hands of the CT side. Fiend, they went 1 by 1, and they paid the price for it.
Yeah, and the bomb's dropped in the open as well. They will use that smoke to recover it, but the only thing they really have left is a boost toward the short sandbags, and the shots coming through the smoke, it could be very difficult indeed for them to get any more progress past this. Han's looking for something, but with 20 seconds to go, do you save your AKs in this situation? I mean, Dream's got $0 remaining, but look at Ships. Oh, he just doesn't give a damn, does he? Pushing dry towards short, drops the bomb, and now it will mean that Dreamer is the last one alive. He taps away at 1, deals with Duplicate, but it's the only piece of damage he's going to do. And SKADE have stabilised. They're going to take their 10th and double digits.
Really well played. I mean, all it needed from SKADE was actually a little bit of a change in tempo for them. Sometimes I think when things aren't quite going your way, I do like to see that CT aggression come out, and that's exactly what we see. Aggressively, they double push in towards short water, they get that control, and I think so far we have seen SKADE just take the steps back and actually allow a lot of control over towards Fiend. And when you give Fiend a side who are very good when they got a lot of map control, get a lot of information, when you give them that control, they're going to expose you. And that's what we're seeing here. I mean, SKADE just go aggressive into a short water, find the opening kill, and then off the back of that, everything just falls into place. Now, though, Dream wants to deny any sort of aggression coming forward. He's pushing through. Will avoid the utility at the very least as the smoke is dropped in his favor. And again, it's looking like this B site is going to be the priority.
Yeah, it's so huge for for either side, whether it's the CT side or the T side, to get control toward the short position. And look at this, they're going to pounce on it straight away. Victor's just going in completely, no holds barred. He can't get one, but he's being helped out by his teammates. Ships and Tesla will get one each, and that should be enough to delay this push. It's a 3 versus 3. They've done their job, those two players, and Ships just going to take no prisoners. What a beautiful peek from water that is, and Rainmaker even from heaven too with the silenced M4. Simple spray from range, of course. It's a bit harder with the A4. It's a bit more simple with the silence variant. So SKADE now back to one behind. They seem to have recovered that little bit of form they had beforehand before Fiend put a stop to it, and now just won the gap with Fiend on pretty much a guaranteed pistol buy. We should have an even game once again.
Most likely going to be the case. 12-12 will probably is what we'll sit at. SKADE are looking revitalized back in this game, and of course now actively looking for map control in their favor. And they're making it work. The question is, though, what do Fiend want to do about this? Priority has to be that bomb plan, and look at the util damage. Oh, Red Star, you hate to see it.
That was a beautiful nade as well. I mean, so often you see the nade just chucked over the wall in that situation, but there is a technique where you jump on the bench and go for that jump throw toward the T steps, and we saw it right then, and it worked out to perfection. The one rifle on Red Star, the one Galil they've purchased up into this one, was already taken down to 42 HP. That is a dirty amount of nade damage against a player who has full armor. So it means that they are, if they weren't at a disadvantage already, they are most certainly at one right now.
Things are not looking good once again. I mean, we already said this is expected to go the way of SKADE. Tie this game up. Most likely always going to be the case. But I mean, that is just insult to injury. And now, of course, Dennis Law holding in hand. Easy pickings. Rainwaker. Just all he had to do, just spot the head, tap away. Free kill for him. And that opening kill, again, we talk about man advantage, but Victor, what is that? Absolutely deleting him. And from behind, in fact, causing all the more issues. Ships release double down himself, bring it back to a 1 versus 3. And I got a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, absolutely. A very good job in the end from Fiend to actually get those kills and pinch toward long two. And now it's all down to Dream. In a 1 versus 3, the fortune for him, the bomb is dropped in a hole position. We'll get the first, but he can't get the second. Cleared up beautifully by Kaluba. And that's another big multi-frag round from Ships there. Just calming down the situation on the CT side. I mentioned him beforehand. He has a tendency to pop off on Overpass in the past and in the present, and he's doing that right now. 26-16 for him. He got 8 kills in 2 rounds to start off this CT half, and he's keeping it up. 12 all. He is feeling it right now, and Fiend, timeout being used. They realise that they're in a situation right now where they need to take as much time as possible to talk through this upcoming bye, because it's such an important one with the game being even as we get into the business end.
Yeah, this is a monumental stage here. I mean, these two sides, we've already mentioned how much of how important this derby is, right? You know, this is the Bulgarian derby, two sides who have head-to-head faced each other so many times. And I mean, looking at them now, things are looking tough if you're Fiend. Hence why we're seeing the tactical timeout come through. They're in a really tough stage. They know as well, of course, going to be able to pick up a full buy coming into this. The AK's armor, utility to support, and they know they have somewhat of a game plan coming into it. But failure to convert, broken economy in the latter stages. I mean, SKADE could run away with things here. And I'd say against the run of play. I mean, looking at our first half, it looked like Fiend could run away with things. But SKADE have turned it around.
Yeah, it's a really important turnaround as well. I mean, we mentioned that they're good on their CT side, and they are proving that at the moment. 12 all, making a little bit of a comeback in this one. Dennis Law, he's been a little bit quiet in the last few rounds, but he's still sitting at a very handsome 23-13, and he could manage to catch the arm of Red Star. There it is. It's an easy first pick for him. Looking for a second. He even re-aggresses for more, and this is something that I see from Dennis Law so often on the AWP. Even gets a tag as well toward Victor. The aggression toward long on the AWP can be so powerful, and he seems to be the one to make it happen more often than not. I've seen so many games of SKADE on Overpass where he's made that work for him to perfection, and he will get away on 16 HP as well. It's going to be a 5 versus 2. What does Fiend have to answer in this one?
Yeah, what are they going to do, right? A three-man disadvantage, and of course, the victor on 46 points of health? Surely not. Well, Denisaur, that's just so excellently played. Finds the opening two, and then all he has to do is fall away, and of course, Mr. Consistent coming back. Ships finds his 27th kill so far of 25 rounds played. I mean, he has been a different beast. We speak about consistent players making a difference. You know, for SKADE, when their backs were against the wall and they were, sort of backed into a corner, right? It was Ships who was consistently coming forth, just dragging rounds in their favour when they needed them most. And I mean, now in such a strong position with SKADE about to find 13, and well, I think Fiend, all they're going to do is keep hold of their AKs because of that broken economy. You've got to just give the credit to those two reliable guys, Ships and Denisaur, finding rounds time and time again.
Yeah, 3 kills are going to be enough. I mean, even with 30 seconds to go, they've made the decision to say, okay, we haven't got any map control here whatsoever. There's literally no point in just losing these guns. We may as well save them into the next round. Victor's got 1k in the bank. Jima's got 500. I think they might be able to get something on toward Han. He's got 4,700 now into this next round coming up. So it's a tough one. I mean, it's sort of 50-50 whether you decide to buy full on this. You can get, when you get 3 AKs, it can usually be the cue to go for a full buy, but yeah, we can just see these picks from Denisaur so often toward long. He makes it happen for him. And up to 25 and 13 now. Ships on 27, Duplicate on 10, Kaluba on 13, Rainmaker on 12. They don't really need to do much work right now if Ships and Denisaur are going to be getting all the frags required to seal these rounds. And they do have a 1-round lead now, and I believe that's a lead for the first time since they had their early lead from the pistol round, was it? I can't remember. It's been so long now. It feels like it was a great game.
Been a bit of a marathon at times, hasn't it, this one? But of course, SKADE now 13 to 12. They're getting ever closer to the all-elusive 16. And, well, for the likes of Fiend, it's a not so confident double hero AK, just as supported by those Deagles. And these are different Deagles these days, and not as overpowered as they once were. And, well, so far, we don't often see those Deagles work the way they want to. Spamming through, they're going to go for this short boost here. Bubble going to allow for the AK to go for a peek. It's worked in their favour once before, but this time Kaluba reads it so well, like a book. Leaving it now, well, already a man advantage in favour of the CT side. If they find 14 here, Trav, this could be it.
Oh, the late boost as well, almost working out for Ships. He gets that player, or spots that player, walking back toward the short pipe, but almost gets taken down from the connector, so they'll just about escape with it for now. And it still means they keep that man advantage intact. You can understand him not wanting to commit to that one too hard. If you lose that opening man advantage, it can be pretty rough for the future. Duplicate actually gets dealt a lot more damage than I expected there. Down to 47 with that spam. He's the player on the back of the site right now, next to default. So we're feeling a little bit hard done by that. He's taking so much damage from that. And there are still 2 AKs for SKADE to worry about, and they are preparing some utility toward the A site. 20 seconds to go. They have to hurry up here.
Who Denisaur finds the first, at the very least. 3 versus 5. They're trying to make their way forward. That crossfire is just too good. Rainwaker, easy clean-up duty. Calling on the janitor of the A-bomb site as he just mops them up. Brilliantly played. 14 on the scoreboard, and well, Fiend going into yet another tactical timeout as they have well and truly been backed into a corner now. That economy in a stable of state to buy once, but failing to convert, and Trav, that's it. That's going to be 16-12 unless they can pull off something special.
Yeah, this is a tough situation now. I mean, they can buy in this round. That's the only thing really going for Fiend, so that's why they've taken the time out. They want to do, work out everything possible for them in what could be the sort of last hurrah on this T side. Of course, Fiend yesterday, they did lose comprehensively to NIP, as you would expect at this sort of level. But they shouldn't have better face today. SKADE, of course, did lose as well. I'll remind you of that one. I mean, they had a really close game against Double Pony on Ancient. They lost 19-15. So, yeah, it's both teams are desperate for this one. At the moment, SKADE, they're getting ever closer, just 2 away now. And I'm really feeling like this one could be theirs at this stage. Of course, we can see that the main factor of SKADE, we know they love Overpass. We've spoken about it beforehand. For the newer viewers that perhaps tuning in right now, that they had a record of about 12 or 14 or so maps in a row early on in the year on this map. So they are absolutely versed in it. But at the same time, Fiend will have done their homework. They will have looked at it and thought, okay, they do this, this, and this. And that's what we saw the 10-5 CT half for them. But SKADE are putting up an even better one at the moment. At the moment, only 2 for Fiend on their T side.
I mean, what a performance. SKADE have at times looked untouchable. And of course, it's a map which is generally seen as CT-sided, but I mean, this is just a dominant showing, and maybe questions have to start being asked of Fiend. What was a really strong start from them has just completely flattened out. They've, taken their foot off the gas, and they had a really kind of strong hold over this game where they looked in a prime position to lock it out. Picking double digits up in the first half is monumental, but now things are not looking good at all, and SKADE are just looking like a different beast. And of course, it's just those consistent players coming up time and time again. Matches are still paused, hopefully back underway momentarily, because this one has just been nothing short of special so far.
Yeah, it's just been a ridiculously clean performance from SKADE on their CT side, and Fiend had to do some pretty special things to get those couple of rounds to regain the lead. I mean, they had a 12-9. SKADE won the first 4. They got the 12-9 back and kept their lead up to 3. But at the same time, it was you sort of felt that SKADE would be ready to go back into the ascendancy once again as soon as possible, and they did just that and haven't lost a round since. So Fiend, the 2 rounds they've won, they've been a little bit rough. It was one really good call with the patience toward Monster that we saw earlier, and and just a plain headshot every 1 round, basically, just a clean kill round from the rest of the Fiend boys. So yeah, SKADE, really, that's the only 2 things that they've lost to, and they're keeping it clean, they're keeping it solid, they're going aggressive when they should go aggressive, they're falling back when they should, they're playing smart CS, not over pushing, not over aggressing, and at the moment it's working out very nicely for them. Of course, we know there is a little bit of a delay right now, a bit of a tech pause, I believe. Hopefully it won't be too long, but before it gets sorted. But yeah, it's only a couple of minutes, I'd imagine. But yeah, Neo, I completely agree with you. This is very strong from SKADE. I will quickly mention, while we're in this tech timeout, the fact that last time these 2 teams played, it was a Fiend 2-0. It was a 16-12, 19-17 victory on Mirage and Dust 2. The last time they played Overpass, Fiend won 16-6. Sure, that was in July, and we know that's quite a lot of time that's gone by. But at the same time, SKADE, they are absolutely putting a stop to those statistics right now.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I think another thing as well that you sort of mentioned, of course, SKADE, they're playing very, very smart CS, but it's actually the other side. They're playing very simple CS as well, right? It's smart and simple. All they have to do is just iron out the basics, and they're playing the basics to such a high level that everything is just falling into place. I think Fiend are very much overcomplicating things, right? At times they're trying to go for these elaborate executes where they put a whole host of utility and fakes in, but I mean, SKADE, they read them every time. They don't need to do anything spectacular. All they have to do is do the one simple task: deny that bomb going down, and that's what they seem to be doing time and time again. It's brilliantly played. All they have to do is back themselves, back their own abilities, and well, so far so good. 14-12. Of course, for Fiend now, they're going to have a fullback going into this. Kind of AKs, maybe even an AWP if they want to. Again, I think, it might be something that they want to actually invest into. It just kind of could bring a bit of a difference into this next round. I think it's definitely something which could bring a sort of a different factor. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, whatever they buy, this could be their last buy. If they lose this round, whatever the score is, even if they get a bomb plant, their economy is going to be in a dire state where it could be, just a couple of Galils coming into the next. And I think overall, a tough spot.
I think the bomb plant, you're absolutely right, is the critical factor, because if they get it, they will have a decent buy in the next. But if they lose a round, they're facing 15 on SKADE. So it's a tough spot to be in. And I think the main factor as well is that Fiend, as I mentioned before, one of the 2 rounds they've won on their T side was just basically down to one good call, and that was the patience toward Monster. That was my favourite call of the half, but unfortunately, it's only one call is only enough for 1 round, isn't it? So yeah, it's a very tough situation, but it's at the same time, it's for SKADE, they're doing all the right things, as we've mentioned. I think the main factor for them is the fact that it's just the patience. They've peaked when they needed to peak. They've gone for aggressive plays on Dennis Law on the AWP toward Long, for instance, at the right time, and he was even afforded the opportunity to reface as well and just continue going for those long range duels. Of course, the longer range you are, the more effective the AWP is and the harder it is to trade it. So yeah, just fantastic work from them. And Fiend, they need to do something different here. They need to change something up. Maybe fast short control. Maybe try and take a duel towards short quickly, get an opener, and try and pounce on it.
No, I think agreed. I think one thing I've really enjoyed so far from SKADE is just that sort of that change in tempo that they've been trying to dictate themselves. I mean, if you look normally when you obviously watch CSGO, it is the T side who dictate tempo, their play style, of course, because they are the ones executing. At the CT side, it's about denying that happening. But SKADE are actively looking for map control. They're actively looking for an opening kill. As you mentioned, Dennis over towards long, found those opening two, and of course, once they picked up the man advantage, he just fell away. He didn't need to do anything special. But, I mean, so far for SKADE, it's been working. Of course, overextension can be very risky on the CT side. You don't really ever want to be giving that T side a man advantage because once they play the trade game, you'd expect the round to go in their favour. However, we'll see how this thing plays out. We are still in a very quick tech pause. We're unsure exactly what the issue is, but hopefully only a minute or two before we get things underway. And I think with the noise being made, that it might be
a round
soon.
reset. Yeah, very nice. That always is a telltale sign that we should be getting things underway pretty quickly. So anyway, yeah, I'll take this opportunity to say it's great for us, this Neo, isn't it? I mean, we're having a great opportunity today to do 4 best of ones on an official ESL stream for an official main event. I mean, this is fantastic. I'm incredibly grateful to all the nice people at ESL and IEM for getting us involved. And of course, it was a bit sad that Mr. Cody Cast, who was meant to join me today, actually was feeling really unwell today and couldn't join us. So it was up to Neo to jump in, super sub at the last minute, and he was available to join me today. So I'll say get well soon to Cody if you're watching. I hope you're feeling a little bit better by now. But we are going to be back underway in a few seconds. Yeah,
of course, get well soon to Cody. But I'm grateful for the opportunity at the same time. And well, for Fiend, they need to take this opportunity of a full buy in their hands. Haaland picked up the AWP, supported by those AKs and a decent amount of utility. But at a stage where SKADE are 1 round away from 15, it needs to be nothing short of flawless for the T side. Early utility in towards mid and towards Monster, as the AWP is actually looking to be the entry.
And that's a change-up, and that's a change-up I like. I mean, so often they've tried to, make the rifles do the work, but the AWP being the entry player can always catch out an unsuspecting CT. And Hahn, we mentioned how his CT half was absolutely fantastic. He's now suddenly, out of nowhere, negative in this game. So it shows the difference between AWPing CT and AWPing T. It's just a tough change-up. And he has been incredibly quiet since those ridiculous rounds on that CT side. Unfortunate for Fiend, and it's been showing really in their rounds 1 compared to SKADE's in this half, and they're again set up very nicely for this play. Look at this, we've got 3 toward the B site, close toward this smoke. There's everyone toward Monster. This is going to be an absolute brawl. It could be a flash coming in over the top here. Look at this situation. This is going to be absolutely incredible. 4 players in front of these 2 CTs. Who's going to come out on top? It's going to be the T side. There we go. Fiend have got something to work with. Ships gets 2 in response somehow, and Dennis Law's still here. There was 4 toward B. That is horrible for Fiend. They're just not going to expect that in a month of Sundays. The bomb's spotted in the open, but Dennis Law close up still gets another one. Bubble trades it, and now we have an even 1 versus 1. Rainwaker versus Bubble, spotted toward heaven. That's the information Bubble needs to recover the bomb and probably get it planted. He'll use the smoke to help him out with that one. 15 seconds to go. The bomb will go down. Rainwaker now in this 1 versus 1. What a huge clutch this could be for Bubble if they can somehow recover this round after SKADE did so much work in response. All the timing with the smoke is insane. Bubble's playing it perfectly, though. He knows where Rainwaker could be. Should be some information in a couple of seconds. There it is, and Bubble wins it out. What about that? That was an incredible situation we found ourselves toward Monster. Dennis Law, the hero at the end.
Yeah, how often do you see that? Both sides just waiting for that smoke to dissipate, but it's going to be the T side with arguably just a better initiative to find those opening kills. And of course, while Ships did find a double, it looked like a potential to turn. That post plant was brilliant. All he had to do was wait for the information. And he makes it work. Holding over towards Bridge, he knew he had to be locked in that position. It was just about what side he's going to peek from. As a reactionary shot, 13-14, and Fiend lives to see another day.
Yeah, and that is such a huge round to win at this stage as well. I mean, Bubble keeping his nerve, playing that absolutely perfectly. I mean, there's no way after the CT spotted heaven that he's going to be still heaven. So you play open to heaven and play in water. The best spot as a T there, absolutely no doubt. And he judged that perfectly. Many years of experience, of course, getting that clutch done and dusted. The trades were absolute insanity toward Monster, and Dennis Law close up really made that a possibility with that quick flick as the bomb was trying to be recovered. But yeah, a nice try from SKADE, but in the end not to be. Fiend keep themselves in this game and keep SKADE on 14. Of course, SKADE will still have a bye, and a good one at that, and they'll even have another one after this if they lose. So Fiend have to keep the pressure on.
Well, so far, so good for Fiend. That's the pressure we're talking about. That's the change that we needed. Something aggressive, may I say, just to catch them off guard. But Dennis Law Could spot a bit of information here. Does spot them crossing, in fact. And they're going to walk into a scope. On finds one. There's one answering. And he's doubling down, in fact. The fact that he's not traded instantaneously there begs the question with the bomb being dropped as well. Molotov on top. Well, things already looking rough. Bahan trying to make a single-handedly turn this around. It's a 1 versus 1 once again. Bubble, he's clutched it once before, but this time not going to be good enough. It's Rainwaker who converts 15 to 13, and Trav, this could be it. This could be the last round of this insane Bulgarian derby.
That was a carbon copy of the previous 1v1, no? Bubble versus Rainwaker. This time it goes in Rainwaker's favour. He makes up for the previous round. That was insane. I mean, you say that Denislaw gets 2 from the close bathroom position. That is just a miracle that he's not instantly traded. Exactly. The fact he gets 2 is fantastic. And that's the key factor to winning that round in the end. With the player toward long as well, dropping the bomb quickly, chucking that incendiary down straight away. That was a bit risky from Kaluba to come straight out from Bank. He was lucky to get away with it as Han got 2 in response. But in the end, SKADE get away with it thanks to Rainwaker. And Denislaw now up to 30 and 15, ships 29 and 18. They've been the 2 heroes in this game, but this time it's Rainwaker to get a critical impact frag to get SKADE to match point. They lost yesterday in a close affair against Double Pony on Ancient, 19-15. They have 2 rounds to possibly take this one in regulation.
Yeah, well, of course, now 15 to 13, as you mentioned, this is it. This is a do or die moment for Fiend. No room for error. Smoking towards mid. They can only be allowed to cross over towards this playground position. Denislaw holding above the smoke, though. He actually actively is looking for a fight here. Han finds the first. Quickly traded, though. Denislaw easy pick. He's been 31st kill in the game for him. He has just been a man possessed at times. Actually going to manage to fall away completely unscathed.
Yeah, and that's big as well, and that's even bigger. Kaluba just pushed through Monster, dropped the bomb toward T-Spawn. That's a huge amount of information. The trade from Victory is huge, but he takes a dink for his troubles. 91 in 1. And that means that this round is still on. Fiend are not dead yet. If they lost that second frag, that was basically the nail in the coffin, the final one at that. But in this situation, they now can't afford to fall back off of it. Victor switching to the Silence and Fall over the AK. That's the first time I've seen that so far. He seems to be preferring that one, and I don't blame him with the buff coming in. And that is going to be an interesting situation as we go into the end of this round. 3 players toward Monster for Fiend. They're well set up here as SKADE. They've got 2 players on the B site. They're walking into the mini stack right now. Our Fiend. Victor will be the player on the entry on that low HP. He used to be the player to get the kills, but Duplicates here. Gets 1, not 2 though. They don't expect a second player near Pillar, but Rainwaker's going to get caught out. Han is showing up now on T side. It's all down to Denislaw. 31 kills, need 33 to close out this game. This has been all down to Han to try and make this recovery. They do not know Denislaw is toward heaven at the moment, but they've fallen back off of the situation cleanly and can play a double setup toward Monster. Denislaw's just seeing nothing right now, and because of that, he might afford a chance to save. He will drop his pistol into water to try and fake this one out, but I think that Incendiary will be the cue to fall back. We're going to have a guaranteed round 30.
Wow. I mean, for Denislaw, it was needed something special there. In a 1 versus 2 orb in hand, he needed to just, be perfect, right? And I think that post bomb was really well played from Fiend. Once they'd found that site, once they found the bomb down, of course, off the back of Han, who was amazing to get things started and then really cooled off. Now coming back alive when needed most. We talk about a clutch player. That's brilliant from him. 3 kills to entry on towards that B site. 14 to 15. We're getting the full regulation here. The full 30. And the question is now, are we going to overtime, or is this one going to be sealed at 16-14 in regulation? Tactical timeout for Fiend as they want to, of course, push this all the way. The question is, can they?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is such a huge round. I mean, the money was a little bit stretched. So that's exactly why Denislaw, saved the AWP. You can't really risk throwing that away in this situation. It's the main gun you have. He's been the main one to carry so far with a 31 to 15 KD. So it's important he kept hold of that. And they're at a pretty decent strength in this round. All the pauses coming in, of course. They realize that this is the last one in regulation. They have to use them all up, talk it out, get it done. But Fiend have a lifeline and a genuine chance at overtime. It's going to be a ridiculous one to see how it works out, because Fiend are also at full strength. Anyone's to play for. Do we have overtime, or do we have a SKADE victory?
Yeah, that is the big question. Of course, early utility coming forward. For the time being, not going to be to any avail. It's Denislaw again looking to be the difference maker. Orb in hand, peeking around the smoke, but it's an angle which they'll be too aware of. He's played there time and time again. And this time, in fact, we're seeing Fiend really take a step off the gas. They're just holding and waiting for that overextension. And, well, for the time being, it's not going to be given. The CT side of SKADE don't want to lose a man advantage early doors, hence why they're just playing those passive positions. Went for an early peeking towards mid, Dinosaur didn't spot any information, and now maybe even a rotation over towards B.
Yeah, this is a curious situation. I mean, you can tell what's on the line now for these two teams. This is probably the first time both of these two teams have been on LAN in a very, very long time. This is such a huge round for both of them. SKADE desperate for their first victory in this group stage. Can they make it happen? Fiend trying to stop that from happening. And we are now rotating back toward B. 50 seconds on the clock. And we're going to be grouping up to try and take this one as a group. Bubble is toward Monster already. He's been looking for the information. And now his teammates will join him. As a setup toward Monster, the M4 ready to peek via a flash. And the MP9 close. The MP9 is basically an M4 from such close range. Can he do any more work? We're about to group up with 30 seconds on the clock. Victor's coming in. Here comes the play coming in. Duplicate gets one, almost a second, but that expects the M4 to go in. Ships is here as well. He gets two. Now it's all down to Bubble. What a setup for SKADE in the final round of this game. Can Bubble clutch it? So much damage done. He just about gets it, but he's down to 19 HP. Surely Rainwaker and Dennis Law will seal this one. Bomb plant can come in. 14 seconds to go, but Rainwaker's creeping up. This should be it, and there it is. 16-14 SKADE. It's a close one. It's a fantastic one, but they just pull through.